The wisdom of discovering real life in a world of thin knowledge and social illusions. Somerset Maugham's Cakes and Ale. As we live our lives, we often come to realize that the world is not entirely what we see. Particularly in this era of an information flood, where truth and lies, essence and packaging become indistinguishable, this becomes even more evident. Judging what truly has value and what is merely a facade is no easy task. In such confusion, we frequently accept others' words or societal conventions without deep thought or questioning. Sometimes, we uncritically embrace knowledge or the views of certain groups that are wrapped in the name of refinement. However, the power of thinking and questioning is not a skill reserved solely for the elite or highly educated. Rather, it is essential for all of us. It is the necessary ability to understand the world correctly and to live our lives fully. There is no better guide for nurturing this power than reading. Books offer us a magical tool to view the world through others' eyes, to see the familiar in a new light, and to break down the walls of fixed mindsets. Today, the book I wish to introduce to you is British great writer Somerset Maugham's novel Cakes and Ale. At first glance, it may seem like a satire of the literary world, but the message within the book is not limited to literature alone. In fact, it contains deep insight into human life, social hypocrisy, and the true value of life. It is an extremely interesting and useful work that can offer wisdom to everyone. Unlike a generally dry academic text, this book vividly and humorously portrays everyday people and societal snapshots, making it accessible and enjoyable even for those who find reading challenging. A portrait of a world with contrasting inner and outer sides. Cakes and Ale. Cakes and Ale is presented in the form of a memoir from the narrator, the writer Willie Ashenden. Willie gets involved in the process of writing an official biography of his older contemporary and a revered figure in the English literary world, Edward Driffield. Driffield is praised as a great representative of Victorian moral values and, after his death, his literary reputation grows even stronger. Ulroy Keir, a young literary critic gaining recognition at the time, attempts to cement Driffield's reputation further by authoring the biography. Keir aims to present Driffield's life as flawless and noble, crafting his image as a perfect model of virtue. However, the memories Willie holds of Driffield and his wife, Rosie Griggs, are far different from the idealized image that Keir is attempting to create. Particularly, Rosie is a free-spirited, sensual, and woman who does not conform to strict societal moral standards. She freely engages with various men, is not driven by material desires, and simply enjoys the moment with a cheerful attitude. Willie had a special connection with Rosie when he was young, and she taught him the joys of life and the warmth of human connection. The issue arises when Rosie's presence becomes an inconvenient truth for the biography that Keir is writing. Keir wants to hide Rosie's past and portray her as a pure muse who inspired Driffield's greatness. Willie feels skeptical about Keir's efforts. Witnessing how Driffield's true character and Rosie's genuine value are distorted by social hypocrisy and superficiality, Willie deeply questions what truth is, and what constitutes true value. Ultimately, this novel sharply exposes the gap between the values assigned by society and the genuine nature of human beings through the characters of the great writer Driffield, the literary prodigy Keir, and the free-spirited soul, Rosie. Somerset Maugham's uniquely cynical yet warm perspective offers readers both laughter and a bittersweet realization. While it appears on the surface to be a satire of the literary world, the novel in fact addresses the issue of illusion and truth prevalent in all aspects of life. The lessons of Cakes and Ale: shallow refinement and the wisdom of real life. Cakes and Ale goes beyond mere entertainment to provide important insights into understanding our own lives and the world around us. Especially for those who feel they lack knowledge or refinement, this book offers the following insights. 1. The ability to see beyond appearances and recognize essence. One of the most important messages of this book is that appearances and reputations are not always the whole story. Though Driffield is socially revered as a great writer, Willie's memories of his life are neither extraordinary nor noble. In fact, they are often ordinary and even rather vulgar. Rosie, while she could be condemned in society as a wayward woman, possessed an honest and warm soul for Willie. This contrast raises an essential question: are the people we commonly label as refined or intellectual truly embodying their essence, or are they merely adorned with the superficial trappings of social status, education, or reputation? This book stresses the necessity for us to look beyond society's imposed biases and external packaging to understand the genuine value and essence within people or phenomena. We often admire perfectly crafted images on television or the internet, trusting their words without question. However, Cakes and Ale reminds us to cultivate a critical eye and not be swayed by blind admiration. 2. Where does true life value and happiness come from? The novel's title, Cakes and Ale, is derived from a line in Shakespeare's comedy Twelfth Night. Does thou think, because thou art virtuous, there shall be no more cakes and ale? This means, do you think that because you are virtuous, you will no longer have the freedom to enjoy cakes and ale? It advocates for a life of freedom in contrast to strict moralism. Rosie is the perfect embodiment of this cakes and ale. She did not pursue material success or social fame. Instead, she lived freely by connecting with people she loved, enjoying good food, and savoring the simple pleasures of life. Her life, though it might have been criticized under society's moral standards, was genuine and happy. Through Rosie, Willie learns that true life wisdom does not arise from complex knowledge or high status, but rather from human warmth, pure emotions, and the simple joys of life. This book poses a question to us: what is your pursuit of happiness? Is it something externally glittering, like a high degree, wealth, or social recognition? Or is it a humble yet authentic relationship, peace of mind, and small joys found in everyday life? Cakes and Ale encourages us to reconsider the essential happiness and value of life that we often overlook. Through reading, we can discover answers to these questions for ourselves. 3. The importance of courageous questioning and independent thinking. Cakes and Ale is a novel that continuously questions the grand narratives or the opinions of certain groups created by society. Willie understands that the biography Keir is writing distorts the truth, yet he recognizes how difficult it is to confront and reveal the truth. The illusion created by social fame and authority is not easily broken. This mirrors our own society as well. Sometimes, we accept certain information or positions uncritically simply because everyone says it or an authority says it. However, this book demonstrates how this mindset ultimately obscures truth and narrows our perspectives. Even without vast knowledge, we have the ability to think for ourselves, to question, and to make decisions based on our own judgment. Emphasizing the importance of independent thought, this book suggests that the courage to question ultimately leads us down the path of true wisdom. Expanding life's horizon through reading. Cakes and Ale is not a dull academic book but a story that cleverly packages sharp insights about humanity and society with humor. As you read this book, you'll discover familiar people and social snapshots around you, sometimes with empathy and sometimes with a sense of bitter irony, and you will eventually question for yourself what true life is and where true value lies. Reading is not difficult. You don't need vast knowledge or a special background. Simply with curiosity and an open mind, following each sentence will make the characters in the book your friends and their stories your mirror reflecting your own life. This book is especially strongly recommended for those who are not accustomed to reading or who, tired of surface appearances, seek genuine meaning. Through this book, you can establish your own values, free yourself from others' perspectives, and cultivate a strong inner self that is not swayed by illusions. Isn't that the true refinement and the most valuable wisdom of life? Open Cakes and Ale now, and within it, you will discover the flavor and fragrance of real life.